How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys figured it out by now. There's no tour portion this week. That's kind of at first I felt kind of naked. Like, what do I do? Just learn some more, learn something else. Like Rabbi Reuben said, learn more Musar, learn more Pirkei Avot, go over what we learned. I don't know why I chose this topic for this stream, but it's been floating around in my head for a while. Everybody gets something right. That's pretty much impossible not to get at least one thing right. Okay. For anyone that thinks being Amish was a good idea, don't feel too bad, because I used to have the same delusions. It's, it seems like an idyllic life. They don't have any of the modern horrors. At least that's the way it looks. You do any kind of digging, any kind of investigations, like how the Amish like function. And you learn. I mean, I learned like pretty quick. I didn't really realize it though, not until I learned. Not until like a month or two ago did the Torah that I learned this year put it all into perspective. That man, and this is putting aside the their core beliefs, which are wrong. But tonight we're going to focus on sacrificing your kids to the Moloch, which is what they do. I mean, not literally like most people would think, but I mean, you got your kids. They're protected from like the most horror of horrors of modern society. They've never seen a TV or don't know, at least they don't know what's on the internet, like how horrible it is. And then what do they do? Oh, you've reached the age of being sacrificed to the Moloch, aka Rumspringa. And then they let their kids out into the world and give them a choice. Here, you can go out to the English, or you can come back and be, quote, a normal Amish, a normal Amish life. Man, what in the hell? See, that's the kind of insanity that people think up without Torah as a guide. I think we got to give them a choice, because No, you don't have to give them a choice. What are you, insane? Obviously you are. But I'm gonna try to hold off. I really try hard not to, you know, not to brutalize people with just a baseball bat of truth. It's so hard sometimes. For me, I have like 90% attribute of judgment and like just way too harsh and strong. And then like 10% of, you know, everything can be good if you just do what God says. God doesn't want to murder us all. But seriously, you got your kids and the only filth that they know is whatever nonsense you stuffed in their head. And then you go and literally, I mean, not literally, but it's tantamount to sacrificing them to the Moloch. And once a person is polluted, it is so rough and difficult to get all that filth cleaned off. So hard. And the really horrible thing is it's like voluntary. Maybe one thing. I mean, I guess you are giving them a choice, but I don't know how it works. If there's ever any kids that are like, no, I'm not going out into the English. I'm not gonna go do that. That's You guys are insane. Who would ever do such a thing? But every people, every every group, they'll get something right. At least somewhat. Sometimes more than one thing. But it's not the whole truth. Everyone always ended up sacrificing to the Moloch, offering their offerings in the slaughtering in the open field to demons. And what seems like a reasonable, wholesome, well-adjusted, true and right way to live eventually becomes clear and apparent that it's not right whatsoever. It's just full of holes, and the lies come pouring out eventually. Mostly it just takes a really long time for that to happen, though. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're still here, if not, I hope you're somewhere better. Like watching, and listening to Robert Rubin's lectures. I got something in the mail the other day. I didn't, but it was sent to the house. I even wanted to do a stream on. I just haven't had the time or the energy and the focus. It all ties in with everything. Everything. It's like everything is all the same thing. Like every single thing is all. It's like all I can see. It's just like everything is fake and complete garbage and lies. And it's always going to be that way without Torah. And honestly, I never thought in a million years that would be here where I am. Never in a million years. But now that I am here, it's like, how in the world did I not see like so much of this? And I know the answer is pretty simple. One is I didn't put forth the effort. I didn't want to. And most importantly, I guess not wanting to is probably the most important, but not having the merit to see it. So I didn't put forth any effort. I was too arrogant, stupid, and blinded by my own sins. But the amazing thing is like God gave me little pieces over the years. They all just piled up, little pieces. Like see, look here, look over there. You see that thing? Isn't that weird? What's going on over there? Man, the new moon was only yesterday. There's already a pretty big sliver of the moon out. Amazing how fast it grows. I'm not exactly sure what the Muslims get right. Probably their facing God, even though they get pretty much everything else wrong. I don't think any group of people has more faith in God than the Muslims do. as a whole, anyway, percentage wise. They way overshot on modesty, though. I don't know if anyone can ever hear this or get what I'm trying to get at, but I guess it's one of those things where you need to hear more than just one little tidbit. That's the thing about the truth is you can't really jump in the middle and really understand what's going on. At least not very well. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try though. But I'm not sure who you are. I know you're looking for the truth. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. I know you haven't found it yet. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. I mean, other than maybe a couple people. You like? Do you like the idea of abandoning the internet and living on a farm? That was all I wanted to do since I was like, I don't know, 10 years old, 12 years old, something like that. Like I just wanted to have a piece of dirt and like live off the land. Now I know it doesn't, it doesn't really matter. A person can be blessed in the city or blessed in the country, and vice versa. Cursed in the city or cursed in the country. Doesn't matter where a person lives or what they do, as long as it's honest. I do like gardening, growing food. It gives me some exercise and get out and ask God for the strength to carry water underfoot. I feel like I'm in Egypt, which kind of am. And I really got to stop using Safari. I just don't know an alternative with as much information there. Usually, like the last year or so, they try to automatically redirect to a JPS translation from 2006 through a generous donation from in the honor of women who study Torah. And you know, maybe that would be a good thing if they weren't. If the translation that they perpetrated isn't, you know, not kosher, and if they weren't didn't have an ideology and an agenda that went against the Torah. But there's a new translation on here that I saw the other day, and God have mercy on us all, man. It is horrible. Something like the gender sensitive JPS gender sensitive translation. Just makes you wonder, like, what was going through people's heads. And the only thing that makes sense to me is that they obviously don't believe anything in the Torah at all, or they think they can just pick and choose. Listen to so many liars telling nice, sweet stories about how God is love, and everyone is tzaddik or tzaddikah. Everyone's righteous. You're all going to go to heaven. There is no Gehinnom. No, that's just Christian fairy tales. Where do you think they got it from? There most certainly is a hell. And there's nowhere anyone wants to ever set foot in, not even a pinky toe. Okay, about 4, chapter 4, Mishnah 1. Ben Zoma said, "Who is wise? He who learns from every man. As it is said, from all who taught me have I gained understanding." Psalms 119, verse 99. Who is mighty? He who subdues his evil inclination. As it is said, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that rules his spirit than he that takes a city. Proverbs 16, verse 32. Who is rich? He who rejoices in his lot. As it is said, you shall enjoy from the fruit of your labor. You shall be happy, and you shall prosper. Psalms chapter 120, verse 2. You shall be happy in this world, and you shall prosper in the world to come. Who is he that is honored? He who honors his fellow human beings, as it is said, for I honor those that honor me, but those that spurn me shall be dishonored. 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 30. And that's God talking. I'm not exactly sure how that relates to he who honors his fellow human beings. I mean, I guess I do know that because we learned in Parashat Mishpatim that God expects us to honor our fellow human beings. And by doing so, we honor him. there's, you know, I'm going to talk about people people that delude themselves into thinking that there is no punishment, or it's like severely minimized compared to like brutal brutal reality. They push it from their mind, and the really amazing and like horrible, terrifying thing that I've been trying to warn you guys about for the last year and a half or so, plus or minus, is when you find a source of truth, do not leave it. Like, you have to stick to it like glue, and don't go anywhere else. Like, not even. I mean, you can watch like a clip here and there, but you seriously have to check yourself every single second of every day. Like, what am I watching? What am I listening to? What am I reading? Because there are people that find the truth, they listen to the truth. Rabbis like Rabbi Yaron Rubin, which you can find his channel in the description of this video. I highly recommend watching as much of his lectures as you could possibly handle. Replace whatever nonsense that you fill your day with. Just start swapping out minutes and hours, as much as you can handle, and pray to God to give you the truth and grant you the strength to apply what you learn. If you don't pray, you don't ask God for help, and nothing's going to come. Well, people find the source of the truth, like Rabbi Reuben, or Rabbi Misraki, or Rabbi Alona Anava, and then they start dabbling, like they're in, you know, social media groups where there's 50 or 100 people that share clips and lectures from who knows how many rabbis, and there's no way to know if, I mean, there is a way to know, because it's impossible that more than half of most things that get shared are, you know, I mean, maybe they're true, but if it's not the whole truth, like the missing all the important stuff, it's doesn't matter how true it is, it's missing the key ingredient, which is fear of God, fear of absolute punishment and retribution for our crimes against God. Without that, all the nice, wonderful teachings become just bitter poison. But people don't see that. They think, you know, this is like high level stuff. Hasidut. I think they're, you know, and the insane thing is, what a lot of it boils down to is like Buddhism. Like Buddhism in a Torah wrapper. You just meditate and think good thoughts, and, you know, everything will be great. Just think about heaven. What a load of garbage. Everyone that has ever thought that way certainly never remain righteous. I never, they all wound up right in hell. Because the Satan, our evil inclination, is so powerful and so sneaky that he will take whatever little crack he can crawl his way into, whatever tiny smallest desire that we have, and he'll sit there and push and push and push, or just wait for the right time until we got so far from the real truth we think that, we're on some higher plane of spirituality where we don't have to think about consequences for our actions because we're so close to God. Little do we know that we're out on a limb so far from God it's not even funny. And the only one out here with us is Satan himself. He just fool us into thinking that we don't need all that other stuff. We're beyond that now. And he convinces us to saw the limb off that we're on. Just whatever you do, don't look down, because then you'll stop sawing and you'll run back to God so fast. You'll rip the skin off your feet. Just keep sawing on that limb, because you got it made, buddy. You know what you're doing. Crack. And that's the point where Satan goes up to heaven and prosecutes against you, and God signs off on his prosecution that it's your time to get plucked from the world because you screwed up for so long. Then you get dropped straight into hell, into Gehenna. Then you realize that, oh, maybe I should have been afraid. That was the only thing keeping me from sin. The only thing whatsoever. But no, people listen to it's wrong. I mean, half the time when I see stuff like what I saw today, I think maybe I'm seeing things. Maybe I'm I just don't know what's going on. I'm a fool. Because I really don't, half the time I feel like I really don't know. I need some kind of some other perspective, some other input. It's like, am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? This guy, this person looked like they were like at least on the right track to go to heaven, find the truth. Well, this is the kind of thing that happens when a person doesn't make themselves a rabbi, a teacher, and like a main source of truth that we stick to, like glue. Now, when I say this, you should feel like every clip that you watch that's not from your main teacher, your main rabbi, like you're cheating, like you're not being faithful. not to him, to yourself, because God is giving you the truth in this, like, just lightning rod down into this world, the source of everything good. And you're gonna go and, like, make God chase you somewhere else to, like, split the truth up that he wants to give you. I mean, it's hard enough to work for it when it's all in one place. I don't know how people think it's gonna be, like, better or easier if they run around for it. It's like the idea of, people think that getting, like, more jobs is going to make more money. It's not. The more effort a person puts forth does not equal more money. I know for most people that's like, they think I'm lying, but that's how far we are from the truth. Our effort in life only has to be the most minimal, microscopic. Just, I did something. You can barely see what it is, but I did it. That's all it has to be with anything. The only thing that does not apply to is getting people closer to God. And in that respect, it is the complete opposite. We have to exert absolutely every single ounce of effort. That's the only thing that our effort really matters. In that case, we have to break our head, break our back, and do absolutely everything. Stretch the ends of the earth. Give our last dollar or last drop of blood for. If it means getting someone closer to God, to do teshuva, TESHUVA, real true repentance. Nothing is more valuable, not anything in this world, than helping someone else do teshuva. I wish more people would see that. I know it's highly unlikely that everyone's going to see. It's probably impossible, unlikely. Mostly because we are so lazy. We're so addicted to our sins that we're blinded to the truth. The lies look just either too delicious or too much like the truth for us to abandon. When the whole time it wasn't the truth, it wasn't light, it was a reflection on a dirty mirror, a broken piece of glass on the side of the road. It's a mirage in the desert. And instead of staying close to God, or at least going in the right direction and staying inside the camp where we were safe, we decided to chase a mirage and just walk off into the snakes and the scorpions. never to be seen again. These are the good old days, guys. It's not going to get any easier. Every single morning that you wake up is your last chance. Your last chance to do teshuvah. Just God somehow suspends our judgment through some miracle of mercy and divine accounting that doesn't make any sense to anyone but him, because he's God, and he gives us one more day. We're all running out of time. And we all need to do more. I'm not sure exactly how that's possible for me sometimes, but God usually grants a miracle and somehow makes more possible. He gives us more strength and more tools. We'll try to use them wisely. Don't stop learning, guys. Just because there's no weekly Torah portion or whoever you learn from stops posting new lectures. You always have to keep learning every single day. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter if you watched or read or learned like an entire day. You still have to wake up and do at least something the next day, every single day for the rest of your life, until we die. God, please grant us all the wisdom and the strength to outsmart and overpower Yitzhak in the passage that you place before us. Especially now when it's hot and dangerous outside. Everyone seems so intent on destroying their own and other people's souls by walking around on fire because they're not wearing nearly enough clothes to not get burned to death by it. Gehinnom. Please help us all to see the truth, and please grant us the strength to apply what we learn. And if God forbid we fail, please help us to please grant us the strength to get up and find and fix where we went wrong.